Hello there, we're live from our studios here in Kokomlemle, digital address GA0992539. This is your home of fearless, credible and independent journalism. Our lead stories this hour. Rescue efforts underway as a mining pit caves in on an unknown number of people in Bremen in the Upper Dentra West district of the Central Region. 3 bodies have been retrieved, but residents say they are not known in the area as they insist there is no mining activity ongoing there. Current anti-Galamsey efforts receive presidential endorsement as President Akufo-Addo jabs critics of some of the strategies being employed. He says they should go to court. We hear from him as he casts salt for the construction of the Ghana Law Village.
I appeal to all Ghanaians, including many in the opposition who are so doing, to rally behind government in its efforts to stamp out far-reaching illegality and criminality. And I would advise those who take a contrary view to go to court to vindicate their position if they so wish.
Labor unrest. This afternoon, other lab scientists joined their counterparts at the Komfo Teaching Hospital to protest placement of hematologists at various labs. We'll also hear from the senior staff of universities whose strike meant to end today has been extended. And the pulse is brought to you by Global Communities Dignilu, affordable, safe sanitation. Join us on DSTV 421, GoTV 144. We're streaming live on YouTube and on our social media handles. Why don't you interact with us on 0540-109009. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. This is the pulse. Please be my guest. You're welcome to the details. Rescue efforts are underway as 3 people are confirmed dead and several others believed to be trapped after a Galamsey pit caved in at Bremen, a mining community in the Upper Dentra West district of the Central Region. Eyewitnesses say the dead include 2 women. NADMO officials confirmed the incident happened at 5 a.m. today. Listen to the account of these eyewitnesses.
Atoyere nchempa na esiwa anodi na emom no na mini ha no wasa na minya akose bibise na esiwa na ye behwe ye no so no sabe na esipa ndi yebo da wuro ma mrantie no beboae menya emu no yensa ede na esi amna na ebugu omoso amna na ebugu omoso enti bugu nipa be senso. Okay, actually me nya adwuma wa ha na mini ha ntino mintimi nkase bia nipa be num ana ensia na emom de me ba ya mbeto ya mlante ne boa ma yi wo mo de mani emu de miensa na mehu ye na miensa no ma se na mema se ma no ye mienu na oba ma ba. Okay, oba ba ko a minimum o ye pen ne de be 25 to 26. And also be 15 years. Nesi emlebe na motisisi. Okay, actually that time I can't tell because that time I wasn't here. No, call na mnya. It is say nipa ni bia ka wo mu ana say etise. That we no some case metimi aka say bia kam ana bi nka mu dia mintimi nyia no because that time no na mini ha. Enti ebe hia sanke ebe nya omo ana omo ye adwuma wa ha no omo nso no eba asa no hu obia ntimi metimi aka se bia kama ana se bi nka mu de ntimi nya no sa na ebo be 4 to 5 no ne yete announcement say amna bu agu nkrofo bi so ti ye de amuka ene awokeka na ye den ne ye baaye ye be so ye ne kre na amna na bu agu onso ne ye ni da so bia ye de shavel ne pick ne aso ene ye de wibi ye fati ya ye ntimi anyi nipa miensa pe ne nya omo edi yiwo mo na be motimi ewo hospital si a yenim de bia yesi de ba miensa ne de omo awu bankaifo no so de mu da so go amnane mu machine no eye 4 na machine so ye 4 no so nipa bia machine bia nipa bia ba ko bia 8 na wo machine no nti se yetimi ayi nipa be 5 for there not to share the aka ne de omu gu amnane mu promani bia nim aya hoho esa se na do ka se yenya adwuma ne nti no ye jam obi agya adwuma tifi omo ya hoho emu ba start ya 1 o'clock mpo no mo baaye the 7 o'clock no mo baaye no
obi anim ho hyehye bia omo ye de ntomo ye ti asase wura kura no onim ho hwe otu kwan aha ono de ya me kura ni enya na de esi kura kampo minu sese wi adi okay.
So those are two eyewitnesses that have been speaking to us. The first one indicates that this is actually a disaster, which of course it is. He says he was not around when it happened. He heard the story while he was in Wassa, so he rushed in and tried to lead the young men there to rescue those in the pits. They weren't successful in rescuing any alive, but they've been able to retrieve 3 bodies, 2 of them female, 1 male. He says the 2 females would be between 26 and 25, and the other one would be between 10 and 15. Actually says about 15 years, and he says he is not sure whether or not there are still people trapped in the pit. The second person talks about the number of people that will be or maybe working on each machine. He says on each machine you'd have about 8 people manning that machine. So with only 3 out of the pit, he expects that there will be a lot more people in this pit. He also says that no mining activity is going on at the moment because President Akufo-Addo has indicated no one should be mining, and so they have stopped. He suspects or believes that these people they're seeing, the dead bodies, are not from the neighborhood and that they are from elsewhere. We're trying to reach NADMO officials in the area to get you an update on the situation. As and when we do, we'll talk to them. Right now, though, let's move on from there. Now, government's efforts to protect our lands and offer alternative livelihood for people has received a massive boost. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources today launched a program to generate 4 million hybrid oil palm seedlings in support of the Green Ghana project. Under this project, the Sector Minister Samuel Abdullahi Jinapo says the target is to plant more economic trees while providing an alternative source of employment for persons who are into illegal mining. Kofi Sian is joining me with details. Hello, Kofi. Kofi, can you hear me? I'm trying to reach Kofi Sian, our correspondent, to help us understand what's happening over there. But just as you heard, the plan is to plant more trees. But the argument has always been that planting trees or making a livelihood of trees or of anything vegetation related sometimes gets difficult for people who have been in illegal gold mining because there's a lot of money there. Well, let's find out what the plan is really to deal with these issues, that come on the back of these alternatives that are available. Hello, Kofi. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. I hear you loud and clear as well, Kofi. So help us understand. Has this tree planting process started already?
Yes. What they have done is to embark on the nursery process. So as I speak with you, when you visit the site of Richie Plantation in Adolso, you can see that there are some palm seedlings at the premises, and these are seedlings that the minister says they are going to release to individuals, to groups, and to organizations so that they can embark on planting them. And he says that it isn't only about palm seedlings. What he says is that they are also going to look at other economic trees. For instance, they are going to plant rosewood. They are also going to do probably a teak tree and all that. So these are the things that the minister has been saying. So on the 15th of June, the minister says that they're going to launch a program, and that will involve the President of the Republic of Ghana, Asantehene Otumfuo, and some other important dignitaries in the country. And these people are all going to plant some of these trees to ensure that everybody is brought on board in the plantation of these economic trees, as he puts it.
Interesting. When they talk about economic trees, apart from this, what they're calling hybrid oil tree, exactly what do they mean?
Okay, what that does is that this hybrid thing, he says that it's a type of palm seedling, and that type of palm seedling doesn't take too long to grow. So if they are able to get people who are into illegal mining, especially, to get them to plant some of these trees. It wouldn't take long for them to harvest them.
Okay.
Probably, let's say, like 3 years. If that is done, it means it's going to create employment for people in the shortest possible time.
That sounds interesting because it seemed to be something that can address the concern that people who have dealt with illegal gold mining are very much exposed to a lot of wealth or a lot of money, and so they might not find farming, so to speak, very attractive. If this is supposed to grow very quickly, are they hoping that it will address the issue of people being exposed to money from illegal mining and adjusting to...
Gifty, Samuel Abujinapo, who is the sector minister, says that he found some caution to these illegal miners. And his point is that there is no way, absolutely no way, the government of Nana Akufo-Addo is going to allow illegal mining to take place. So that should be taken as such. And what he says is that whether there is so much money in the oil palm, just as the gold business, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you are able to find something to do. So the money that you get from the gold business should be the yardstick for measuring what you are going to get from the oil palm plantation.
Interesting, Kofi. Is there anything else that we need to update our audience on?
Okay, so the minister has been meeting the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs. As I speak with you, they are in a meeting, a closed-door meeting, and the chiefs have been raising some of these. He says that he wants the minister to take to Parliament to ensure that Parliament empowers chiefs so that they can also have the power to summon people before them. And the president of the Eastern Regional House of Chiefs, Nene Sakite, made that appeal. And his reason is that if the chiefs are empowered and they are able to summon people before them, it will mean that when someone is involved in illegal mining, the chiefs are clothed with the powers to, deal with some of these issues. So he's been telling the minister, and the minister has also assured them that he's going to move for that in Parliament to ensure that the chiefs and other elders in society have these powers to summon people before them.
Kofi, thank you very much. That's Kofi Siao there, bringing us up to speed. Well, government is hoping that planting these trees that it's calling economic trees, which grow faster, would help, deal with the issue of galamsey by providing an alternative livelihood for the people who have been exposed to illegal mining. A lot of wealth there, by the way. We'll see how it goes. Now, President Akufo-Addo has thrown a challenge to those criticizing methods adopted to rid the country of illegal mining to head to court and seek redress if they so wish. Government's new drive, backed by the military, has resulted in the seizure and burning of equipment and machinery used in the mining of gold, notably among them excavators and Chinese-made chamfang. Critics say the method is an affront to the law and must be reviewed. But speaking at a sword-cutting ceremony for work to start on a proposed law village at East Legon here in Accra, President Akufo-Addo said that devastation caused by illegal mining is evil and must be stopped.
I would want your indulgence to use the opportunity of this platform, so appropriate in so many ways, to comment on a current matter of considerable importance which has engaged the attention of the nation. It has to do with the battle against galamsey. I know there are some who believe that the ongoing exercise of ridding our water bodies and forest zones of harmful equipment and machinery is unlawful, and in some cases, harsh. I strongly disagree, and I would advise those who take a contrary view to go to court to vindicate their position if they so wish. That is what the rule of law is all about, which does not recognize social status, religious persuasion, political affiliation, ethnic origins, or regional adherence. Merely the law and precedent, the ancient common law doctrine of stare decisis. The Minerals and Mining Act, 2006, Act 703, is the vehicle through which a mineral license is acquired and thus confers mineral rights on the holder. Any person who without a valid license conveys any equipment onto a piece of land purportedly to conduct activities for the search, reconnaissance, prospecting, exploration, or mining for a mineral commits grievous crimes against the state. Indeed, a person in possession of a valid license but undertakes mining in water bodies or mines unlawfully in protected forest zones also commits an illegality. Apart from the criminal violations of Act 703, the activities of such persons desecrate our environment, pollute our water bodies, and endanger the lives of present and future generations of Ghanaians. They are monumental crimes which should not be condoned in any shape or form. The presence of shangfines in water bodies is illegal, as is the unlawful use of excavators in protected forest zones. The devastation caused by these equipment is nothing short of evil, and we should not compromise in our efforts to protect our environment, forest reserves, and water bodies. I say with all the emphasis at my command that no rights can accrue to or flow from the criminal venture of galamsey. The equipment, which is being used for an illegal or criminal purpose, cannot confer on the owner or any other person any rights whatsoever. I appeal to all Ghanaians, including many in the opposition who are so doing, to rally behind government in its efforts to stamp out far-reaching illegality and criminality, rather than advocate for the protection of non-existent rights of persons caught in this evil activity.
President Akufo-Addo there saying if you do not agree with the strategies being employed to deal with galamsey, then go to court. I wanted to return you to our previous story about the pit collapse in Breman, an illegal mine pit we suspect that has collapsed in Breman, killing 3 people. There's also the suspicion that many more people are trapped in the cave. I have the DCE joining us via phone right now. His name is Juman Asiedu. Mr. Juman, thank you very much for your time. Good afternoon.
Your voice is too low.
Let's try this again.
I'm finding it difficult to hear you.
Let's try this again. Is it any better? Is it better?
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Asiedu. Can you hear me now?
Our money.
Okay, let's see. So what is the latest? We understand that you had a mine, a pit in your jurisdiction collapse, killing some people. 3 bodies have been retrieved from that pit. What is the latest from your end?
Thank you. Good afternoon to your listeners. As I speak to you now, rescue operations are ongoing. There is an excavator at the site trying to dig up the earth that collapsed, and for us to find if we still have some people down there. But for now, I cannot tell you whether we still have people under the earth or not, unless we have been able to complete the excavation that is going on. When the excavation is done, then we will be able to confirm whether there were others that were trapped under the ground or not. But as I speak to you, the excavation is ongoing. NADMO officials are there, and there's an excavator undertaking that operation. And so that is the latest.
What are residents in this area telling you about this disaster?
When I went there earlier in the morning, I understand the people who were trapped there, they went there under the cover of darkness in an attempt to steal, to do the work. Because we have banned everybody from going to that area, especially when there is this Operation Halt activities ongoing. And so nobody is allowed to go to that area to undertake any mining activity. That mining site, that area is for precious mining. They are preparing to undertake gold prospecting there. It was somebody's large-scale operational area, and that person have handed over the area to Precious Mining Company Limited. And so we have met with the community, we have met with the youth, representatives of the community, chiefs from the community and the Inter-Traditional Council, and we have told them that nobody is supposed to go there. That is since last year. And so we don't know why those people sneaked out under the cover of darkness yesterday to go and do mining there for this unfortunate incident to have happened to them. But as we speak, the landowner is in the hands of the police. He is in police cells now as we speak now. There is still one other person that I've asked the police to look out for her and arrest him. He is also a landowner, part of the land that collapsed in. And so we are looking for that person also, that the police will arrest her and they will be sent to court to answer why they allowed people to mine on their land with this ban on Galamsey and the fact that we have told them nobody should go there.
Does that mean that you have established that they actually were aware that these people were going to mine and they allowed them to do so?
That one I cannot tell, but since they are the landowners, they also have a duty to protect the land.
You indicated
before the Operation Halt activity, my assembly, that is the business assembly, we took the initiative, invited the National Vanguard Commander, invited Small Scale Mining Association people, invited chiefs, family members, NADMO officials, forestry officials, and we gathered and interacted and told them that if they are going to mine, then it means they have to follow the laid down procedure. Even if you have a license, when you mine, you have to cover your traffic, you have to reclaim the land. And so all these information were passed on to them before even the start of the Operation Halt activity. The Vanguard National Commander was there. I invited him, the ACP Charles Edupoku also. He was there. And so some of these chiefs, we have formed local task forces and it is in operational. So if you are land, at least you have a duty also to prevent people or giving your land to others to do illegal mining.
So you indicated when you started talking that the owners of the land had handed this over to Precious Mining.
Not the owners of the land.
Okay.
The land, the whole land is somebody's large-scale concession.
Okay.
The concession owner is different from the owners of the land that were using it for farming or other things. You understand?
Okay.
It's different being an owner of the land and different being a concession owner.
Right.
The concession owner is not necessarily the owner of the land, but that concession owner is somebody who have gone to Minerals Commission and acquired that land for mining purposes because there is gold deposit or a mineral deposit in there. Okay. So it is the concession owner who have had this conversation with Precious Mining Company, and he has handed over the area to Precious Mining Company. And so Precious Mining Company are preparing to go and undertake gold prospecting activities over there.
Okay. Okay. So these two people that you are searching for, who are they?
They own part of the land that the illegal miners went on under the cover of darkness to work on for this unfortunate incident to have happened. And so we have gotten one. One is in the police case. The other one, we are still searching for her.
What's their identity so the police can be helped through the public?
The other one is a woman.
You have any identity, name, anything?
Actually, I don't have the name readily, but the one who is in the custody of the police one, his name is Apia.
Apia? That's part of my name as well, so we need a fuller name, sir.
You said?
Apia is actually part of my name, so it's pretty vague. Can we have some specifics? Apia? Just Apia?
Apia, understand?
Okay. So he is in the custody of the Dentra, is it Dentra Police?
Yeah, Divisional Police Command, Dunkwao.
Dunkwao, Divisional Police Command.
Yeah.
Have they had any information to share with you so far?
No, please.
Okay. Sir, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure that subsequently we'll come back to you to see if any progress has been made with the rescue efforts ongoing. I've been speaking to Ajiman Estiedu, who is the DCE for Upper West Dentra there. He says that one Kojapia, who owns the land upon which these people were trapped in the earth, has been arrested by the police. They are on a hunt for another who is a female. That name we don't have at the moment. 3 bodies have been retrieved. It is suspected there are others trapped beneath the earth. We'll keep our eye on that story and update you subsequently. Now, the constituency chairman of the opposition National Democratic Congress for Etiwa West, one of the hotspots for Galamsey activities, has shut down the government's approach to fighting illegal mining. Johnson Amo says the use of the military to intimidate, according to him, illegal miners instead of dialoguing with local miners would eventually crush the fight. His concerns come in the wake of the Operation Hold task force striking the area several times and setting on fire excavators and bulldozers belonging to the NPP women's organizer KATH Demfua. Ohim Interior with more.
Etiwa, a hub for illegal mining operations, has had its share as far as the fight against illegal mining is concerned. 3 residents of Kwabing, the district capital of Etiwa West, were allegedly killed by the Operation Vanguard team in 2017. This development is still fresh in the minds of the people, including NDC constituency chairman Johnson Amo.
When the Operation Vanguard was commissioned in 2017 to fight small-scale mining in Galamsey, Etiwa, we received our share during that time. 3 young men were killed, or they were murdered, apparently without any reason. All their issue was, why have they followed a low bed carrying an excavator machine going to be offloaded in a mining site at Kukusu in Etiwa West constituency and in Etiwa district? Why should they lose their life? They were killed and buried or dumped in a pond. People were alleging that it was the military from the Operation Vanguard. However, nobody was arrested. After some few days, they were buried. Now, their families are helpless. Their wives have become widows. Their children have become fatherless.
Ohim Interior with that report. You're watching The Pulse with me, Gifty and Apia, here on the JoyNews channel. We're going to take a very quick break, but stories gone by is one of those that you saw, the collapse of a pit, killing at least 3 people. Rescue efforts are underway, but also more to come. Labor unrest. This afternoon, we're hearing that other lab scientists are joining their counterparts at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital in the strike to protest placement of hematologists at various labs. We'll also hear from the senior staff of universities whose strike, which was meant to end today, has been extended. Many thanks for your time with us. Do stay on. We'll be right back. Do stay. Welcome back. The Bono East branch of the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists is threatening to declare a strike tomorrow, Thursday, in solidarity with their colleagues at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, who have been on strike for almost a week. They want to protest and demand the removal of some 2 medical doctors posted to the hematology unit to superintend their work. Anas Sabit reports.
The Bono East Regional Branch of the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists has thrown its weight behind the strike action by the laboratory professionals at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital. The group has threatened to join the strike over unresolved labor issues. Moses Kofiole is the regional chairman of the Bono East chapter of the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists.
Someone will say this is an issue of KATH. What about Bono East region? Bono East region is concerned because the main aim of the KATH or the doctors, those laboratory physicians, is that they want to manage the labs from the teaching hospital level to the district level. And there is a region, we have district hospitals, we have regional hospitals. If the law, which is now preventing them from practicing, is not implemented and they are allowed to come into the lab to do whatever they want, then what will be the fate of the medical laboratory scientists? We have been trained purposely for that purpose. Every medical laboratory scientist now has what it takes to produce quality and acceptable lab results for the management of patients. Why will it take someone from a different profession to come and boss over me or to come and validate my results before they could be used to treat a patient? This is the issue of concern to us, and we think the law must be implemented to prevent all these issues.
According to him, the regional chapter is poised and would lay down its tools if the situation is not resolved by Thursday.
We are ever ready, and our people are poised. We are not interested in threatening anyone. In fact, we care much about the patients. Taking such decisions to go on strike are difficult for us, but the right thing must be done. And we are saying that if the issue is not resolved by tomorrow, when the KATH deadline will end, we are going to join them. So this is an indication. We have started with the red bands today. Tomorrow, we are going to see the outcome. If the law is not enforced, we are going to join them and we'll embark on the strike from tomorrow.
The group therefore appealed to the health ministry to intervene in order to save the situation.
We are appealing. At this point, we should not be appealing. But because of the concern we have for our patients, we are appealing to the ministry and the presidency to come in and halt this process. In fact, it is going to cause a lot of damage to the industrial peace we are enjoying in the hospitals.
Our checks at the Teaching and Aberfi Women and Children's Hospital revealed that members of the group are in red bands, displaying their readiness to join their colleagues at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital if the impasse is not resolved by Thursday. Reporting for JoyNews, Anas Sabit, Teachman.
And as for that report, and you already know this story has been in the news for some time now, let's get on Zoom and talk to the national president for the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists. He is Dr. Abudu Rahman. Doc, thank you for your time. Good afternoon. Hello, Dr. Rahman. Okay. It looks like I've lost Dr. Rahman there, but this story has been ongoing. Started from the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, and they're saying that they need management to sit with them on the table. But first of all, even before they sit, they want an agreement from the management of the hospital that there will be the withdrawal of these 2 physicians who have been placed at the, who are hematologists, who have been placed at the lab. Without that, they are not backing down, they say. Now you're hearing the story from our correspondent in the Bono East region, who is saying that the medical laboratory the medical lab scientists there are also saying they'll be joining forces with their colleagues at the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital starting tomorrow. We'd like to talk to the president to find out what the plan is. At the end of the day, the story has been that people who are going to the hospitals, patients like you and me, are bearing the brunt of this action. Dr. Rahman, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
At the moment, what is it? Is it a nationwide strike?
Well, at the moment, we will say from the national level and from the executive level, our members have given their full support to Confanoche, and so it's a complete strike from our understanding from what our members are saying.
Okay, so let's take a look at, if you can give me your members who have joined. We're just hearing a story. So it starts from KATH. We're hearing that your members in Bono East are saying that they will join. So KATH plus Bono East. Yesterday we heard about Tamale as well. Can you give us a list of which of the groups across the regions have joined in the strike?
Yes, from the indication that we have gathered and from the meeting that we had with the chairman, all teaching hospitals, that is the remaining teaching hospitals, that is Kekos, Ho, and then the Tamale Teaching Hospital laboratory staff are fully going to get involved. All our staff with the Ghana Health Service, both from the health center, the district hospitals, the regional hospitals, the regional health directorate, all are going to get involved.
Are going to get involved, but they have not been involved yet? No,
they will do that from tomorrow.
So your colleagues at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital say that they want the management to sit down with them to have a conversation. But even before they sit down, they're insisting that the management should agree to their terms. How is that fair?
That is fair because, let me tell you this. You have in a department a consultant medical laboratory scientist who has been acting as the head of the department for the past 6 good years. He has gone for, the position has been advertised. He has gone for that particular interview. He was told he is not qualified. And then you all of a sudden, you see two laboratory physicians or medical officers who have been brought to the department. They say they are not in the department, but they have been added to the list of the department. Now, what do you think they are doing? What they are basically doing is that as long as those two laboratory physicians are part of the list of the hematology department, the next thing is that they are going to do an advertisement. And when they carry out that advertisement, it means that those two individuals will apply, including the consultant medical laboratory scientists.
You are saying, Doc, you are saying that they will apply, or you know that they have applied. Those are two different things.
No. As now, they have not advertised. But the point here is that why would you allow a consultant medical laboratory scientist to act for good 6 years? You have advertised for that position. The individual has applied, a consultant medical laboratory scientist who teaches virtually every person in that particular department. You say he is not qualified. Then you bring two people who are also consultants, but from another field, to come into his department. Then what message are you sending?
But just because I send somebody to your department doesn't mean that I'm asking the person to take over your duties, does it?
Oh, no. You see, as we all say, you know, the military and then our intelligence officers always gather intelligence. And when they gather intelligence, sometimes it's about 99% true. Our intelligence is simple. These two individuals are being brought into the department, and the next step the management were going to do was to carry out an advertisement for the position of the head of the hematology department. And obviously, the consultant medical laboratory scientist will be out.
Why is that an obvious choice in your own words?
If he has been there for good 6 years, and he has been working assiduously, effectively as he is, what stops management from confirming his appointment? If management was not in a position of confirming his appointment, why after they have advertised and he has applied, why has management come up and say that he is not qualified? I mean, the stories are just something that you can just know what they are applying to.
Did you get the reasons why he was told he didn't qualify? Were there any reasons why he didn't qualify, but based on what? Did you get that explanation?
all that he was told was that he didn't qualify.
He didn't qualify.
He didn't pass the interview. That's what that is going on.
Right.
And then apparently in the interview, what he was asked was that if he should become the head of the department, will he allow laboratory physicians into the department? For which he took his time to explain everything to them, and obviously they were not happy. And
that's what you think. That's what you think, or were you in that interview?
No, but you see, apparently our members who even went for promotion were asked these similar questions. Will you allow laboratory physicians into the laboratory?
Okay.
And you see, it's as if it's magic. All those who said no failed the promotion examination, failed the promotion interview. Would that be coincidence? Recently, our people who were recruited by the ministry went for an interview at Confanotti, and they were asked the same question. Did
they all fail for saying no?
Yes, those who said no were all failed. Those who said yes were allowed. So why would it be a systemic approach of the fact that the condition for you to have a position in Confanotti as a laboratory scientist is by agreeing to the fact that you were allowed to work in the same facility, in the same department with a laboratory physician?
That's what you suspect. That's what you suspect, that they're making it a condition. They are gradually trying to institutionalize this.
Yeah, but that is not fair. You see, so if we are talking about fairness, I think Confanotti management has not been fair to our members on the ground. And see, that is what is tensing our members across the other parts of the country.
So you have a department and 2 hematologists are brought in. There is a position that has been advertised. It doesn't necessarily mean, you say you have picked intelligence, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your fears are going to actually happen. So why not wait for that to happen? So you have grounds for your action. Otherwise, at the moment, it sounds like conjecture.
My dear, you see, when you wait and then they execute their action and then they appoint someone, all that they will tell you is that, well, it was an interview. And then they pick the best person. What you have against it? Because when an interview is conducted and someone is picked, I mean, there is nothing you can say about it.
Okay.
But when someone is acting, we all know what the labor situation states in Ghana. You cannot allow somebody to act in a particular position for good 6 years. It is not that the person is not qualified. A whole consultant, I mean, someone who can teach even the specialist of the laboratory physician. Okay. So why would you? It is simply because he is not a medical officer.
At this point,
that is all.
At this point, your actions are affecting Ghanaians who have caused you no harm at all. How do you feel about that and your members?
Well, it is not a pleasant situation. Absolutely, it is not, and we don't even want it to extend in the next 1 hour. But certainly, you know that everything lies with our bosses. The Ministry of Health has this situation at hand for the past 2 weeks. Please, how long will it have to take the ministry to call the necessary stakeholders for this issue to be sorted out once and for all?
Will you not describe that, if it was in any other case, as an interference of the ministry in operational work?
No. In fact, they are our supervisory agency. They supervise. In fact, it is their work. Whatever the ministry comes out and says that, look, that is how the thing must go. Any other agency that has any issue, maybe you may have to go to court against it. That is all. But once the ministry comes out and say, look, that is the way forward, we all go along with it. Any party which is not okay may want to seek redress from the court. And that's what we say. The ministry should take action. The ministry should speak truth to power. The ministry must tell the medical laboratory physicians that that is not their territory.
Finally, Doc, I've run out of time, so let's try and wrap this up quickly with what in the next few days you expect to happen that will make you and your members go back to the lab and work for the Ghanaian people.
In fact, I'm not expecting the next few days. I'm expecting the next few hours or the next few minutes. If the ministry calls, wherever we find ourselves, we will meet the ministry and then we'll avert this nationwide strike action being called by our members. You, as your correspondent can tell, they should go around. Members are highly agitated. Okay, and the only thing that can cause this is not the next few days. The next few minutes or the next few hours is vital. It's very important. The ministry can do us can help us so much if we are able to call such a meeting and then get the two officers stand aside. As at this moment, even what we are saying is that let them stand aside. Let us talk. When we finish deliberation and it is that they should come back, we don't have an issue with them. So why can't this thing be done?
Have you reached out to the ministry yourself?
Yes, of course. We've spoken with them.
What did they say?
Well, they said they have given a roadmap, and the roadmap is the fact that 3 weeks we are supposed to submit a memo, and then when we submit the memo in 3 weeks' time, we are going to have a stakeholders meeting. 3 good weeks. I mean, you understand the situation.
Okay.
We are not expecting that the ministry is saying that the patient or our clients should suffer for the next 3 weeks before we come and address such a very simple issue, which can be addressed in a very simple and then collaborative way.
3 weeks is too much for you. Thank you very much for your time. We'll say a big thanks. And we're hopeful that you will make a headway, like you said, in the next few minutes, now that we've been talking about it. I must say, by the way, that we've been trying to reach out to the Ministry of Health for their response. We have not had a response as yet. But I've been talking to Dr. Abudu Rahman. He's a national president, the president for the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists. I want to take you back to Komfanoche Teaching Hospital, from where this story originated. Now, the association there has declared now a total strike over the management's failure to withdraw the 2 physicians in question who have been posted to the directorate. The decision was made at an emergency meeting at the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital. The members there are saying that they cannot be blamed for the death of any patient at the hospital. Ohim Interior has been monitoring developments. Here is his report.
Past 1 week, pending management's decision to withdraw the 2 medical officers, members say management of KATH should be blamed for any consequence of the industrial action. President of the KATH branch of the association, Ernest Bedu-Boatin, spoke to JoyNews after the meeting.
It's a week old since we declared a sit-down strike. There may be a lot of anguish on part of our patients. There may be a lot of anguish on part of us. The pressure on us was enormous. Management have still not yielded to our resolve and our position to withdraw the 2 doctors. So today we are going to affirm the NEC decision that the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists NEC have taken, that this strike be escalated to a total full-blown strike where we won't even give a timeline. Until management resolve our issues, we are not going to come to work.
Patients at the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital have been at the receiving end of the sit-down strike. They complain about high cost of lab services provided by private laboratory facilities outside KATH.
I came to the lab for lab tests of my daughter, who will be going to see the doctor on Monday. But I came and then I was told they are on strike. So I have to go to a private lab to go and then make the lab. I wasn't even aware of the pricing. So I decided to go there. And because of the urgent need of my daughter to see the medical practitioner on Monday, I have to pay whatever amount that they asked to be paid. How much? 80 Ghana cedis. But here at Komfanoche it's 50 Ghana cedis.
But Ernest Bedu-Boatin says management of KATH cannot be absolved of blame. According to him, failure of management to resolve the impasse aggravated the situation.
We are very much concerned about the cost implications of this strike and the cost patients are paying to outside laboratories. That is why it was regrettable that management had to arrange the private labs to run samples from Komfanoche instead of looking at this matter and withdrawing the doctor from the hematology lab, making it look like we are dispensable, which even went a long way to infuriate my members. And that is not good. So we are calling on management that patients are bearing the brunt of this strike. Nobody is happy what is happening. If they will allow just 2 people, just 2 hematologists, just 2 physicians to cause all this trouble and cause a nationwide strike, then if anything should happen to anybody, if any patient should die, if any patient's illness should be aggravated, or whatever it is, they should lay the blame at the doorstep of the manager of Komfanoche, the chief executive officer, the medical director, the head of LSD, And then the two ladies who are being intransigent and still thinking that they have the right to participate in the laboratory.
From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohiminteria reporting.
That's Ohiminteria with a report from Kumasi there. I want to take you to the upper West region from where we're getting a statement from the association there as well. They seem to be joining in the strike. Let me just quickly read for you what it says. It says the ongoing impasse between the Ghana Association of Medical Laboratory Scientists and the Ghana Medical Association on account of events at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital where 2 medical doctors were posted to the lab is becoming dire with no solution in sight. We stand in solidarity with our colleagues at KATH, and if by close of the day of 26th of May 2021, which is today, there is no resolution, we call on our members at the Ghana Health Service faith-based CHAG to follow the laid-down roadmap until further notice from the Regional Executive Council. Meanwhile, members in the region, which is the Upper West region, are to be alert, resolute and firm, display red bands at the doors, entrances to the labs and the working tools. As we register our displeasure at the happenings, let us hold ourselves in readiness for further directives, as this fight is not over until, I beg your pardon, it is over. Remember, we stand or fall together. Laboratory regards from Gameli Emmanuel Adraku, who is a chairman of the Upper West, or the chairman, it just says chairman, but this is the Upper West region of the association's Upper West Region branch, which has just thrown its weight behind their colleagues at the Konfanoche Teaching Hospital. They are looking to start theirs tomorrow if nothing happens today. We move to another labor issue. The National Executive Council of the Senior Staff Association Universities of Ghana has resolved to stick to their decision to embark on an industrial strike. The SSA UOG is agitated over non-payment of Tier 2 pension arrears, market premium and non-basic allowance, as well as the migration of public universities onto the Controller and Accountant General payroll system as some of their concerns. Failure by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to engage them on their conditions of service is another concern that they have. A statement issued and signed by the national chairman of the association, Zakaria Mohammed, after an emergency NEC meeting today, outlined the decisions which led to the sustained strike action. Well, that is the statement there. As you can see, they list the concerns that they have. I've been joined by the national chairman of the Senior Staff Association, Zakaria Mohammed. Mr. Mohammed, thank you for your time. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon.
So you were already in discussions with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. What has gone wrong for you to take this decision now?
Yes, thank you for having me. What happened is that, we had embarked on a similar strike on the 21st of January 2021. And at that meeting, we were directed by Labour Commission of Ghana through court and injunction, asking us to call off the strike and engage with the Fair Wages and Salary Commission. We did exactly that. Then we started the negotiation with the Fair Wages and Salary Commission on the 18th of February 2021.
Okay.
Now, there was offers that were made, and senior staff KATH rejected it. And Fair Wages adjourned the meeting to the 4th of March. Now, in between the 4th of March and the first meeting that was held on the 18th, there was a communication from the Fair Wages and Salary Commission to the effect that, looking at the fact that the substantive ministers have not been put in place, it will be imprudent for us to continue with the negotiation, because whatever negotiation that occur will definitely culminate in an increment in salaries, and that was a policy decision that needed the presence of a minister to be made. So we agreed and then asked to write the letter postponing the negotiation. When ministers were put in place, we wrote back to the Fair Wages and Salary Commissioner, asking him to re-engage us to continue with the negotiation. The feedback we got from him was that government hasn't given him the green light, and we thought that was not the agreement we had. And since then, the green light has not been given, and the negotiation has come to a standstill.
So, give us a summary of the statement that you put out there for people who have not seen it. What essentially, apart from saying that you are extending the strike, essentially what are the key points that you want people to take away?
Yes, what we want people to appreciate is that the one we met with the government team, high-powered government delegation, made up of the Minister of Employment and Labor Relations, Education Minister, Service and Salary Commission, Controller Accountant General, GTEC Director General, Service and our side. And we made some proposal. I mean, government made some commitments, and we signed on to a document. And we were just thinking that there was the item 4 was to enable us to go back and consult with the National Executive Council of our association, which is a higher decision-making body. At that meeting, we realized that government has made a number of promises in the past and have not kept pace with those promises. And now our position is that we think that the many promises that have been made in the past and have not been fulfilled, government should translate this time around. The commitments and promises made should be translated into action. And that would enable us to also call on the strike going forward.
So we reached out to the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission as well as the Labour Commission to try and understand exactly what is happening and to get, their side of the story. What they're telling us is that there is a scheduled meeting for 4 p.m. today. You must be aware, no?
I'm not aware. No letter has been sent to me. We haven't received any invitation letter.
Are all your other colleagues also unaware?
Well, we as senior staff, as national chairman, I'm not aware. No letter has been sent to me. We have not been invited. So we have no idea whatever meeting that is going on between Labour Commission and the other unions.
Actually, what they're telling us is that because we're trying to get them, as well on air so we can have this conversation between you and them. So we have 2 of you represented and then we get the size of the story. But they told us that there is a meeting at 4 p.m. But you obviously are saying you're not aware. What's going to be your next line of action?
Our next line of action is that we are sustaining the strike until government translate the promises and commitments made at that high-powered government delegation meeting to action.
Mr. Mohammed, thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
I've been talking to Zakaria Mohammed, is chairman of the Universities of Ghana, the Association of the Universities of Ghana. They're saying that the strike, which was meant to end today, has been extended because the negotiations have broken down. Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, the Labour Commission, we've reached out to them. They say that they are scheduled for a meeting at 4 p.m. By the way, the association says it is not aware of this meeting. Let's keep our eyes on it. Another break. We'll be right back. Do stay with us. You're welcome. A group calling itself Political Parties Without Representation in Parliament says no amount of intimidation and name-calling will deter them from contributing to electoral reforms, especially at the level of Inter-Party Advisory Committee. The opposition NDC at a news conference last week questioned the relevance of the smaller political parties when it comes to deciding on the proposed electoral reforms as announced by the Electoral Commission ahead of 2024 polls. But addressing the media, the General Secretary of the National Democratic Party, Mohamed Frimpong, says the NDC only seeks to belittle them, but he says they are not deterred.
Among many reasons the NDC assigned to its boycott of IPAC, as pronounced by NDC Director of Elections, is the inequitable vote rights at IPAC debate and denigrating other parties outside Parliament. Of course, we have even heard the Mfianfianho party pronouncement by General Mosquito. This contradicts tendency and attitude of the NDC in the recent past when it rallied support of other parties to advance many objectives of the party. This is numerous, but suffice it to recount a few. The NDC enlisted the support of a coalition called IPRAM, in party resistance against new voter register of Ghana, featuring prominently Jatabe's UFP, Odike's UPP, Bernard Mona's PNC, Ayariga's APC, etc. And it is an open secret to all political actors who were involved and participated in several demonstrations throughout Ghana. By extension, could in future have the absurdity of the same equitable voice by segregation of number of votes of a parliamentary seat. Today, the NDC would call other parties wet, but it forgets that it pools its own archival political parties as part of its voice, namely the EGLE. I don't know whether any of you here has ever heard EGLE or seen EGLE, on the film. And Reform Party, these are sitting on the archives. Not long ago, the venerable Ghana Freedom Party presidential candidate, Madam Akuadonko, acted as the NDC policy oracle and was prominent in the NDC presidential entourage to Senchi Forum, as well as on foreign trips, which with the same allied political party leaders, namely Taba, Akwesi Addo-Odike, Bernard Mona, and many others. What has changed now for this new position of seeking equity in voting at IPAC demanded by the NDC? In keeping with the sound pluralistic atmosphere, the participation by other political parties outside Parliament has been and continues to be beneficial in nurturing our multi-party participatory democracy. Indeed, any obnoxious impediments to widening the frontiers of participation of the citizenry and other political parties must not be accepted in the era of information technology and demand for national accountability.
Well, the parties made up of the Liberal Party of Ghana, APC, GCPP and others say the NDC's condemnation of the smaller parties at IPAC, but its reliance on others for the advancement of their political interests only demonstrates what they describe as double standards and selfishness.
Even though other political parties outside Parliament may be facing dire resource challenges, we have the wealth of ideas, commitment and sincerity that match or even surpasses that of the duopoly in Parliament. Indeed, it is also a known fact that we nurture and fertilize opinions of our citizenry in alternatives from which a duopoly pick a leaf or two. The NDC should not forget that the CPP and to some extent PNC, derived from the PMP, had once formed government and been in Parliament. Their present situation does not diminish their intelligence and policy relevance. And any of the two parties in Parliament now can also go down the way of CPP or even the PMP. NDC alternate reforms. The arguments the NDC advanced in its supposed alternate reforms could have been better stated and shared at IPAC and not outside. To consider its boycott of IPAC as temporary and to rejoin at any future date will just be a ploy to attract undeserved public attention, a disappointment and a dereliction of duty to its supporters. A sore loser. The persistent condemnation by NDC of political parties that express support for the compilation of the 2020 new voters register at a joint IPAC and eminent advisory committee meeting exposed NDC as a sore loser. At a two-day workshop in 2015 at Aliza Hotel, political parties purportedly supported the NDC rejection of new voter register under Madam Charlotte Osei. How were the political parties then? It is common knowledge that in a democracy, obsession with desire for power does not translate into an entitlement when all parties must subject themselves to rules and process. Political grandstanding. The saying that if wishes were horses, beggars will ride aptly applies to the NDC in their unrelenting posture of seeing every act in our democratic process as going against them as the largest opposition. It is a dictatorial and seditious attitude to think that the NDC should always have its way. Indeed, the NDC itself has superintended over many of the issues it complains of today. The tradition has thus been inherited from the NDC. We have seen the MPP in a minority which also pursued its demands, but never boycotted IPAC, not that we may recall. The premises of the EC, equally, if not more, has been militarized in the tenure of Madam Charlotte Osei when the MPP was a minority. Again, there must be decent closure to every dispute pursued appropriately by a democratic process or adjudicated at a competent court of jurisdiction.
Headline. Away from that, members of parliament split over the decision to allow parties without representation in parliament voting rights at IPAC.
IPAC itself is inter-party advisory committee, and the point is that if the EC was making decisions in accordance with the powers given under the Constitution and in law, then it would be helpful to have key stakeholders such as political parties make input into that decision-making process. Once they make their input, it is for the EC to exercise its powers under the Constitution. To begin to have a discussion about IPAC making a decision that is binding on the nation is problematic. I'm not sure IPAC should have those legislative powers, and therefore any such discussion should go through the proper process. Namely, if it is constitutional changes we want, we should go through the proper process. If we want to make a law, let's make that law to give effect to what we hope to do. Then we can all look at the details properly and see what our thoughts on that will be. So to start with, that is what must be resolved.
But how about the voting rights issue?
Should we, for instance, have it in our constitution? Should we make the necessary constitutional changes to say that somehow IPAC can make decisions that are binding, which would almost be to say IPAC can make laws? For instance, to discriminate against political parties on the basis of something. If we want to give, if at all we're to make those decisions and it became constitutionally permissible, then it probably will have to be based on the strength of the parties on the committee, and that may be determined by looking at either their strength in parliament or the votes they got in the last election.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that you should just select some of the political parties and make them have equal votes. If we want to weigh the votes, then let it be equitable. That if you got, for instance, 40%, and the incumbent got 60%, you do not expect your vote to have the same value as that of the incumbent. And so, to start with, as I have already indicated, I do not think that IPAC should be given legislative powers to make decisions that are binding. But if at all we made the necessary constitutional changes to make that happen, then IPAC should vote on the basis of the strength of the parties, maybe in the last election or their representation in parliament. So the majority or the person that won the most votes in the last election in the presidential votes, for instance, then will have the biggest vote. And
my take on this is very simple. The essence of participatory democracy and representative democracy is to make sure that parties that have representation are the parties that take decision. So I think that what happens in IPAC must follow from what happens even in Parliament. In other words, the total number of representation you have in Parliament should give you a basis for voting in IPAC. If we don't do it like that, then we'll make nonsense of the representative democracy.
Well, you're talking about multi-party democracy.
Well,
you have to give the other political parties an opportunity to make decisions on electoral processes.
That is correct, but multi-party democracy must be discussed within the context of what is happening now in Ghana. Even though we have multiple political parties in Ghana, there are two dominant ones, the NPP and the NDC. What that means is that you cannot take any decision without the input of these two major political parties. So whatever happens at IPAC would be fruitless without the participation of NDC as a political party. Okay. Because when it comes to parliament, the NDC is having 137 seats in parliament. That is very, very significant for the purpose of taking decision in this democracy. So you cannot ignore that and simply say that, well, we are in IPAC, whether those political parties have representation in parliament or not, whether they are recognized political parties or not, merely because they have a name and perhaps they have an office, it means that they can go and take decisions that would affect the interests of NDC as a political party.
So they shouldn't be given a voting right at IPAC?
In my view, any political party that does not have representation in parliament should not be given a voting right at IPAC.
Thank you very much.
The pleasure is mine.
Some members of parliament sharing their thoughts on representation and whether or not there will be representation in parliament and whether or not political parties should be given some rights. Now, Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, Oseiche Mensah-Bonsu, is blaming the legislature's inability to properly exercise oversight on the executive and other constitutional bodies to poor leadership at the committee levels. The Suame MP explains the quality of MPs who head the committees, especially as chairs, has been diminishing over the years due to the high attrition rate. Kwesi Parker-Wilson is our correspondent in Parliament. He's joining me. Parker, let's begin with the reasons he is accounting for he is giving for the concerns he's raised about leadership at the committee level.
So, Gifty, first of all, the major concern is about what he calls best brains leaving Parliament. Now, if we compare the 7th Parliament, for example, consistently, the majority leader has been mentioning the likes of Banabdala Banda, who used to be the chairman of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee. Again, he talked about Inisa Fuseni, who was actually the ranking on that particular committee, and among others. In fact, he consistently also mentions the likes of Dr. Esibe Yeboah, who used to be the chairman of the Finance Committee. So these are some of the reasons the majority leader believes that the quality of MPs is gradually diminishing. And as a matter of fact, at the committee level, a lot of the new MPs do not understand the workings of Parliament. They are now trying to learn the ropes, so they are unable to peruse the documents and the bills before them, and as a matter of fact, affect their oversight responsibilities. Because if you come to Parliament, for example, it is the committees that do most of the work, then present their report to the plenary, or the ones we say the chamber, for all of them to take a decision on it. So if at the committee level, they are unable to do what is right, punch holes into the document and raise critical questions, what it means is that they'll put together a report that will be accepted by all. And that is the major concern for the majority leader. But he's hoping that going forward, political parties will now have to strategize, put together a policy that could protect the experienced members of Parliament who have been in the House for so many years, so that at least the work of Parliament could improve and the quality will still be gathered. So these are some of the reasons he believes that members of Parliament are unable to provide their oversight responsibility to the executive.
Interesting, Parker. I'm sure that we'll be hearing from him with more on this, but tell us what else is happening in Parliament, so we call it a wrap.
All right, so Parliament just convened, or the business of the House started just about 30 minutes ago. They've gone through their normal procedure, and just before the main event started, the minority leader once again raised critical concerns about the lack of composition of statutory boards. And these statutory boards, you're talking about the GET Fund, the Road Fund, the National Insurance Fund. Now, for him, especially for the Road Fund, contractors are really under severe hardship because the members of the Road Fund have not been constituted, the board has not been constituted. So they are not there to approve funds for financing and all of that. So he is asking and demanding with immediate effect that the president put together these boards and again appoint MMDC so that they can quickly run and speed up the development. The majority leader responding to the concerns raised by the minority leader actually considered that indeed the composition of these boards are long overdue. and we've moved on a while ago, and now currently people are raising concerns about specific issues within their constituency. In fact, a statement has been put together by the Member of Parliament for New Edubiase constituency on the lack of personnel to handle the ambulance within the constituency. In fact, he revealed this afternoon in a statement that a man lost his life due to the lack of personnel to man the ambulance. So he's asking government and, of course, the health ministry, so as a matter of urgency, employ more people, more personnel, so that even though you have deployed the ambulances to the constituency, you'd have people, paramedics, to be there to provide services for the ordinary Ghanaian.
Paka, thank you very much. We'll look forward to more of that information. Kwesi Paka Wilson is our parliamentary correspondent there with more for us. I want to take you to the Ashanti region where residents of Onyinanofo, where a diesel tanker accident killed 3, want the government to urgently fix warning signals on the road to help deal with recurring accident. The accident, which caused fire to sweep through the community, destroyed almost half of settlements there. The residents believe that markings signaling the long curve there will help prevent any such future occurrences. Nanaya Ojima reports.
Scores of people, including those who lost property to the inferno, visited the temporary home of the couple who lost their 2-year-old boy to commiserate. Tears flow in every corner of the home. The boy, Kofiedu, died when the fire swept through the community, including the house in which he slept. His father, Seth Akwesi Ajiman, recovering from a stroke, had to choose between running for his life and perishing with the child. I am unable to walk. I would have died with the child if I had gone there to pick him.
A
day after the incident, the distraught mother, Dinah Esiedu, can only manage a few words. She says, I have gone through struggle to take care of this boy. His father has been ill since the child was born. The burnt diesel tanker is now a center of attraction for all who use the road. Maxwell Frempon is a friend of the deceased tanker driver, Alaji Ahmed, who switched from driving sand carting trucks to tankers. I saw him just before the accident and he waved at me. That was his parting message. The hardest hit family is the Ekona family, whose 8-bedroom house was totally destroyed. They have all gathered in the home of one of the relatives where they passed the night. Through the benevolence of the relatives, they are among the few privileged who were able to get something to survive on. Abner Jewa, who is family head, says hope is almost lost. I don't have anything. Myself and the family are looking to God. We pray for help, she says. Others who are not fortunate to have families with homes intact had to put up in the classrooms at the Onyinanofo Basic School. NADMO has since supported the affected families with mattresses, food items, 20 packets of roofing sheets, and an amount of 2,000 cedis to the family of the deceased boy. The community wants road signs installed for safety. It's a field day for teachers here at Onyinanofo MA Basic School due to the inferno that swept through the community yesterday. Though the teachers are present, the students refused to come to school. From Onyinanofo, for JoyNews, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
And that's a community in pain, not just for the loss of their material things, but also for the people that they've lost. Now, police at Kwewu Etibie in the eastern region have yet to identify the bodies of 6 people killed in a car crash yesterday. The Hyundai truck is said to have somersaulted several times after a brake failure on the Ojanoma Mountains. Some members of the 1996 Kwando Senior High School Old Student Association say earning the bragging rights as National Science and Maths Quiz winners is very important for them because it has become a yardstick for measuring the performance of schools and also plays a huge role when parents are selecting second cycle schools for their children. They were full of joy when their alma mater walloped Baton Senior High School and Jolo Senior High School to qualify for the national championship scheduled for October. We'll bring that story subsequently, but Konongo Odumase SHS has just been gifted a free ticket to the national competition in October by Nuru Amin Islamic SHS. Great cause, which was being tailgated by Ifijase Senior High Commercial School with just a point between them. The last riddle was to decide the winner, and it did, except it was answered by Nuru Amin Islamic SHS, which had nothing to lose or gain from answering the question. In the end, Kos won the contest with 33 points against the last from Ifijase, who had 32 points, becoming the 13th school from the Ashanti region to qualify to the national tournament. They are full of gratitude to Nuru Amin, promising to invite them for their celebration party.
Saved by the Bell was a school that would be Konongo Odumase Senior High School. Well, today they've been saved by Nuru Amin Senior High School, Islamic Senior High School. It took the very last riddle, which was not answered by them, but by Nuru Amin Islamic Senior High School. But for that answer, they perhaps would have been on their way back to Konongo, not as part of this year's National Science and Maths Quiz. But all of that is history. And the guys from Kos are qualified to the national tournament in October. Congratulations, guys. I see you are so happy and excited. No, but this is not something. This is not something that was coming your way. It was going the way of Ifijase. You are contesting. You're on stage. I see you are sweating. How was the feeling on stage?
Like, it was very serious, especially at the last riddle. Like, we had no, like when we said the riddle and it wasn't correct, we thought Ifijase would take it. But when Nuru Amin took it, it was like a boom, and God's grace has manifested.
It's God's grace that has manifested. But you also there. I mean, you didn't have an answer to the last video, did you?
No, I didn't have the answer.
Okay.
Well, since Nuru Amin gave the answer, we were saved.
Okay, so you were praying for Nuru Amin or any other school to answer?
Yes, we were.
So if that didn't happen, what would have happened?
Well, I don't know. God knows what would have happened.
Yeah,
so
God knows what would have happened. But they say Kos has been coming to the national tournament every year. I mean, most years. Yes. You come and we don't see anything, extraordinary. You do very well in national debate and so on. But in the National Science and Maths Quiz, you don't really have a reputation there. What's the problem? What's the problem?
I think last year we weren't very much prepared. Last year's students, we couldn't concentrate more on them. But this year's students, we took them from Form 2. We were able to train them up to this level. So I think this area will be able to go very far.
So are you going to organize a party for Nuru Amin Senior High School? You do what?
We will organize the party and invite them. Yeah.
You organize the party and invite them? Oh, yes. All right, so if you're an old student of Nuru Amin Islamic Senior High School, well, this is an invitation to treat for you. The guys from Kosi, they're going to organize a celebratory party, and they're inviting you for what you've done for them today. But there's more and more. They are the 13th school to qualify for the national tournament from the Ashanti region. There are more schools to qualify, 7 more. We bring you all the updates from right here from the Ashanti region.
When the competition was lost by someone rather than you winning, the excitement can be static. Well, let's do some sports up next here on the Pulse. To stay with us.
Thank you for staying with us on Joy News. I'm Gary Al Smith with the Sports on Pulse. Now, today is a big day for Manchester United and VRL. For Man United's manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is an opportunity to win a trophy. They say he's always got there and thereabouts, but he's never won. For VRL and for their manager, Unai Emery's chance to make history. He has won the Europa League 3 times, and he could be the first manager ever to win it 4 times. What is at stake? The game is at 6:45. Build up on Joy FM. Kickoff, it's at 7. Let's do a bit of what we should expect and what fans of either team are looking forward to. Jerome Provençal is joining us as well on Zoom. Jerome, thank you very much for your time.
Good day, sir.
Yes, what are you expecting today?
A victory, of course, obviously. So I expect us to pressure them, to play a good game and come away with the trophy. To cap of a really bittersweet season, to be honest.
Joining us is Chris Akotia, who looks or has been following VRL for this season. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be
For
here.
those who don't watch La Liga outside of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atleti, Sevilla, what do they expect from VRL today? What do we expect from VRL today, Chris?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. What do we expect from VRL today?
I expect a tough game from them. They proved their worth against Arsenal in the semi-final. They showed their best in the West of them in the semi-final.
What are you optimistic about tonight? What are you optimistic about?
Well, we played well before our last 4 games, the Leicester game and everything. We played pretty well. We had a good season. We had a good run in there.
If Man United are to win, where do you think most likely will be where Man United will be stronger, Jerome?
In the midfield. I feel the game will be played in the midfield. The transition from midfield to attack will be really important in this game because we have a very good front line. We are known to be a counter-attacking team. Villarreal are known to be very organized. We struggle to break down teams earlier in the season. We haven't been progressing. We've just been up and down. But this season, we've gone forward and we've gotten to finals. We've progressively made our way into competitions and we've gotten to the final stretch. So I feel it will be a successful season with or without the trophy.
I mean, a stick that I have personally used to beat Ole with is the fact that he always makes it there and never wins. Gets to the semi-final, you know what I mean? So
yeah, I do.
Yes. Where that is concerned, don't you think it will embolden those who say that, nah, this guy, his level is getting to the final or semi-final, and so let's bring in somebody who can actually win the trophies?
Yeah, that's a good point. It's actually a really good point because the way I see it, he is a good manager. People call him a PE teacher, people call him a bad manager, but he is a good manager. He's getting the best out of his players, and getting over the line will be a plus, of course. But if I look at the season as a whole, I feel that we have gotten better. And his critics will obviously use him failing to get into the final, to get over the hump, as a counter argument against him. But I feel that winning the trophy, which he can do, which we will do. I hope we will do, because if we don't, I might end up being a me.
Yeah.
So I hope we do win.
Chris, yeah. So I hear you guys are friends as well. So your man says that the trophy has to come home. What do you have to tell him?
I think Villarreal are going to make it very difficult for them. That's what I can show him.
But you see, you are not saying that Villarreal are going to win. The man says you win, but you are not saying Villarreal will win.
Well, I think it will be a tough game. That's the honest truth. I think it will be very difficult. Villarreal will have to play at 110% in order to get the result that they want to get. They have to be disciplined.
Take your prediction before you go. Prediction?
I'll go for a 3-1.
So let's make sure that
for a 3-1 Man United win, not Villarreal.
Okay. All right, Chris, thank you for joining us as well. Your line didn't help too much in you putting forward your arguments, but that's it for now. You have live commentary of that game on Joy FM. Build-up starts at 6:45. Game kicks off at 7. I'm Gary Al Smith, and that is the sport for now.
Well, which team is your money on? We'll see about that. Let's start tonight. I'm Gifty Andopia. There is more news at myjoyonline.com, but I leave you with, well, those are our top stories. The Lighthouse Chapel begs court for more time to file defense. That's one of the top stories there. You can take your time and read through it, share with your contact. Let's talk showbiz is how I leave you for today. Let's do this again tomorrow. Many thanks for your time.
Hello there, and of course we are always good at making sure that when upcoming musicians are doing their thing, we want to support them, so we do it and make it a point to always interact with them. And today my guest is Silky, who has a silky voice too. Hello.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm very well, thank you. I like the sound of your voice.
Whoa. Thanks.
Is that how you sing? Is that how you talk?
Yeah, when I sing, it's a different voice altogether.
Hey.
But that's how I talk.
Papa Celsi. I mean, how long have you been doing music?
Oh, for a couple of years now. But now, like, we used to do it like way back. But now I've taken it serious because I'm on the record label, so everything is now serious now.
How has it been for you, the journey? I know for upcoming musicians, they have a lot to always talk about, share, because they always say it's not easy, having to do the music, different game, having to do the promotion, even letting people know more about it, about your music and appreciate. How has the journey been for you?
No, even coming from the fancy side, Charlie, you have to go through a lot of struggles. But I believe life is full of challenges, and no matter what, you have to go through them. That makes you stronger, and I'm a born winner, so I always prevail in my challenges. Sometimes you even have to go to the studio, it becomes a problem to you. The audience crap when you could see sound engineers to play your songs on the phone. So it's not an easy journey.
Wow. Have you always been doing music here in Accra, or you had to move from maybe Cape Coast or Takoradi to come and do music here in Accra?
Yeah, I move around because I believe you have to tap from different sources so that you come out with a good craft. So I move around. I feel go bed for some corner actually when mosquitoes go bite me at this studio 24/7. Wow. So I move around too, at least.
It's sad to hear that, but of course I'm sure you have a dream and that's what you're working towards. You said you were signed on to a record label. Which record label is this?
Crazy Records and Entertainment.
And how was it? I mean, per what they are doing for you, do you like it? How's it going?
Sure. I always tell myself, if you get somebody who even give you one CD on your way to at least achieve your dream, that person be your God. So going through, as an upcoming artist, going through a lot, and I have somebody who actually they hold on to me, they give me what I need, I will be appreciative.
How many songs have you released so far under the record label?
Yeah, 3 songs.
3 songs, and how are they doing?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Have you shot videos for them already?
Yeah. I have one video out. On Independent.
Independent.
That'll be the title.
That'll be the title. Yeah. So usually when we see musicians with dreadlocks, then you should know where the thing is going. Are you doing dance, or what kind of music are you doing?
No, I don't do dance. I'm the lover boy. The silky baby. So I do Afro,
love.
Yeah, I do Afro pop.
Okay. That's good.
Life stuff.
Yeah. So far, do you have any intentions or any plans of working with any of our big artists? I know it's not easy to get them.
Never easy. We are not going to talk everything here, but it no be easy.
Have you tried?
So many of them, and they turn you down. It's so sad. You understand me? It's so sad. I can't mention names, but it's so sad. Even the new song that I do right now, it no be easy. Calling people to feature them on the song, and they tell you, I even called one of the artists, the big artist, which I can't name it here. I call them, they tell me, say, oh, I for pay like some amount of money.
Like as much as how much?
I can't mention it.
Oh, you are not mentioning the person's name, so like.
But okay, so my amount, a huge amount, you know.
Like.
Or around, let's see.
50,000.
Oh no,
100,000.
No.
20,000. 10,000.
We'll talk about it later. I called this guy away, Charlie. It was sad. It was sad. I called him and said, I should bring this amount of money. And I told him, okay, I'm now fighting hard to get the money. So I called him another time. I told him, oh, I've gotten half of the money. I mentioned the price. He said, it be dollars or it be what? Charlie, one of the big artists though. But you see them on TV, they talk, oh, they are ready to help. That's not what's happening now. It's sad. I can't talk about it.
Did it make you feel like giving up on music?
I shed tears. A big boy like me sharing tears on this because it's my dream, and I wanted to feature this guy on the song. I called him. He told me it would be dollars or it would be what? I said, oh, if I have dollars, I wouldn't even be. Charlie, I'll be doing my stuff so long. I'll come to you and pay.
I know.
So they're not helping. Some are also helping.
Sorry to hear that. Who are some of the artists you would love to work with?
Oh, my dream? Moogies.
Okay.
Yeah, Moogies, Kelvin Boy, Samini and my favorite, one of my favorites, Kofi Kinata, you know, from the fancy side. Yeah. When there was, I deal with you, the best come from the West.
Oh my goodness. Now, I'm sure you've seen a lot going on in Ghana. Now, if you go on social media, there are a lot of things, fix this, fix that, fix Ghana, fix the country. And I'm sure you're also part of Ghana. What do you make about, what do you make of all this whole things about fixing Ghana or the country? Trending.
I believe our president, our father is doing well. I don't think he wants to evade tax on people, for people to go through hardships. He's trying to do his best to fix everything well for us. So and the people are even saying fix Ghana, I also think they believe in him. They know he can do something. So they're also saying, oh, fix Ghana. And they should bring, if they have ideas, they should bring it on board so that will all help become a better Ghana, yeah.
Do you have anything to say to anyone before you actually do some freestyle? But I want to dance.
Dance.
But you say you are the
the lover boy.
Okay, so you can make me feel special.
Okay.
Yes.
First and foremost, I give so much thanks to my record label, Frazy Entertainment, and my boss himself, Rusty Fresh. You know, he's everything to me. Kwata Budukusu, who is always holding me up, helping me in other way, like helping me in other stuff. My fans out there, my fan club in Medina, my whole people, everybody in Medina, Modimbo fan club, my PA, my whole team. I can't mention names, but if I forget to mention your name, catch me another interview.
We are sorry about that.
Yeah.
And now that I won't feel special. You can give me maybe a line or two of any of your songs.
Okay. I want Pamjina Subrache from Sabe woman say so. Or the one kuana me po. Edu trema wa fenya butre. E drive for Yanson Subeto. One me and me wo. Bring back the loving we used to share. Make it no mind the susupon. Make them jealous because we've been through this. My wonka, my wonka. Oh, you're
making me fall in love too much. Silky!
Like this. They paint them bad. Wanna move, see they paint them bad. The way we they chop love, they paint them bad. Easy.
How do we reach you out on social media?
Okay, my Instagram, Silky Pablo. Twitter, the same thing, Silky_Pablo. Facebook, Silky Pablo. And my fan base on Facebook, Silky Music.
Okay.
And my record label, Frazy Entertainment Records. Also.
Okay, so guys out there, if you want to reach out to Silky, of course, you heard all his social media handles. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
When you blow, I bet come back and come sing for me. Thank you so much, Silky.
Afro Kingston, you were awesome.
Thank you so much. It's great to see you, by the way. Do your thing on the microphone, somebody.
And how different were you on the microphone?
I mean, I just came to have fun, and it's always a blessing to be on such a stage. And I've always dreamed of doing a song. Is it dreamed or dreamt?
Okay, I've always dreamt.
Yes. Great. So I've always dreamt of doing a song with Buyala or Atungo. And we've been speaking about it, we've been talking about it. And to be able to perform with her, I was holding back from crying. Yes, because apart from the fact that we are musicians and everything, we have like a certain bond. So to be able to move from that place of communication, you know, just on phone and whatnot, to bring it through music was something else for me. So it's an experience I can't forget.
Okay, so you've been wanting to record with her, but you've gotten the first opportunity to perform
with her.
Are you still going to record with her?
Of course, it has to happen. Yes, it's happening.
Have you already spoken about it?
Oh yeah, we talk about it. In fact, we've been speaking about recording since really. So my album Ago, she was supposed to be on there. So then the song we did together, No Running, was the song she was supposed to be on. But around that time, she was out of town. So
and you get to do it with her.
Amazing. So who knows? We might do a remix of No Running. Yeah.
Well, look out for it. First time hearing this, and I'm hoping it will come to life, so that everybody who's hearing it will also feel it. But what do you make of Afrofingston? First time in Africa, and it happens to be in Ghana.
You know, even though COVID happened and we're all crying, it's like, oh no, like we are praying that it goes away fast. But the blessing in that is that we're able to bring this festival here. You know, so people get to experience what we would have experienced in Switzerland if we had moved. So that's a great feeling to know that we can do it from any part of the world. With the aid of technology, of course, we can let the whole world see what we are doing. And people are watching all over the world. So we are marketing Ghana from Ghana. And that's a beautiful experience, yes. I love marketing Ghana through my look, through everything. Through my
your
sound.
art.
Exactly, exactly.
Was this the expectation?
More than what I expected. The sound was great. The people loved it. The feed was amazing. And it's more than I expected, really. The energy, you come on.
Okay. Yeah. I just needed to hear it from you.
The energy
needed
was
to hear
just
it from you.
Something else. So I'm really honored that I'm part of this.
Let me drift away from Afrofingston.
Okay.
What are you releasing the next one? I know that. Yeah.
You know, I just dashed you all an album.
No, we know.
So I'm going to just take my time to promote this album well, because I realized some of my songs, like Won Kwa with Ochiame Kwame, we released it, we promoted it a bit and moved on to the next song. So a lot of people didn't get to experience the song as they should have. So I need to give attention to each song and promote it well so people get to hear it, you know. And when they hear it, they can identify that that's a Yaya song. So I think that's my goal for the Ago album, because so much went into it for it to go to waste. Yeah.
How long do you want to perhaps, what's the period of promotion?
You know, I think I'll go the Kujoinchi route and do like probably 2 years release. I'm not sure, but that's what I'm feeling now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the feeling now.
That's the feeling.
It could change anytime.
I'm a creative. I said 2 years, but you know, I have this amazing album. I have to drop it this year.
Behind now?
Yeah, I'm behind now.
Okay. Who's ahead?
Oh, a lot of my colleagues have a bigger catalog. You know?
Yeah.
I haven't put a full body of work out in 5 years.
Okay.
And some have 3, some have 2, some have 4.
Yeah.
You know, these are people that my friends that I started with. You know.
So now you're working on an album?
I have 2 albums ready. The first one dropped last week, Loyalty.
Oh, Loyalty.
This is the first single, German Minister.
Okay.
Yes, and I'll drop another album in October too.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah.
So the 5-year break though, how was it? Tell me.
Very interesting. I learned so much, and I built new businesses from the ground up.
Yeah.
You know, empowered some of my friends, some of the people I started off with. You know, and I got into the hospitality industry. I own a nightclub. I own a lounge.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm very happy. It's experience.
But one would have thought that, I mean, those were very good business interests,
Very, very
and
good.
they were probably doing well. So why come back?
When you're passionate about something, nothing's taking you away from it. Money or, I'm passionate about music. This is what I love, you know.
Or is it that the music was paying more than the nightclub was?
No. They're all very
lucrative.
Big, revenue generators, all very lucrative businesses. But when you're passionate about music, nothing can take that away. Unless you're not a passionate person about the music, then money can carry you to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see you ranting about the effect of COVID on your business.
I don't talk much.
Okay. Well, that
I was closed for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, from March last year all the way to August. I was closed down.
Did it affect you much?
Very, very much so. It affected me, my family, my staff, everybody around.
Did you have to lay off staff?
Fortunately, unfortunately, I was able to keep everybody.
Oh, okay, that's good.
And when we're able to open up the open air lounges, everybody came back to work.
Right.
Apart from the club is not fully open.
Yeah.
Because the restrictions are still in place, but the lounge is open and we're managing.
Okay. Oh, good.